Story of the day, the Supreme Court. They will have their say regarding the president and his concept of immigration. They will hear the case challenging his executive order aimed at granting partial legal status and work permits to upwards of 5 million people who enter the U.S. illegally as children or who have children that are American citizens. They're going to announce their decision smack dab in the middle of a presidential election cycle. This is now entertaining. Let's get quickly to our guests. First up, Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies, Jessica Vaughan, joined by the National Latino Outreach Strategist for the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign and supporter of the DREAM Act, Cesar Vargas. Cesar, I understand you are the only one joining us right now. Jessica, unfortunately, was not able to join us at the last minute. Let me ask you this. The Supreme Court says they will take up the case. Is this not going to be a huge part of whatever campaigners and different candidates are doing when this comes down, when the Supreme Court finally rules?
Absolutely. Immigration is going to be playing a very central role in the 2016 election. And we're seeing both Republicans, obviously, with Donald Trump's wall and, extreme rhetoric with Mexicans, but also we're seeing Democratic candidates who are really stepping up, especially Senator Bernie Sanders, really stepping up to ensure that not only is he commending the Supreme Court for taking the decision to review the case, but also to really ensure that many people are coming together to ensure that families are coming together. So this election is going to be about immigration, the economy, but it's going to be a very central when the decision comes in June.
All right, Jessica Vaughan, I understand, now joins us the few minutes that we have here. Jessica, let me get your take on this, because, again, there are those on the left who are firing back saying Reagan did it first. He had an executive order in there. And, of course, as everybody has looked at, Presidents Reagan and Bush 41 did not do exactly what the president is doing right now. Do you think, in your heart of hearts, your opinion, that the Supreme Court will rule against the president?
I do. I think that it's very clear that the president exceeded his authority by deciding to issue work permits to this huge number of people, and the purpose was to bypass the immigration laws that have been written by Congress. Under the Constitution, only Congress has the authority to decide who gets to live here legally, not the president. The president's supposed to enforce these rules, and the president went way beyond what he claims is his discretion and made this sweeping order to issue this huge class of people work permits, and thereby imposing huge costs on state and local governments.
Let me get to that point, if you will, here, because I've only got a short time and I'm going to come back to you now. But Cesar, let me bring this up to you. John Boehner wrote in a July opinion piece, USA Today last year, Congress makes the laws, the president executes them. That is the system the founders gave us. So let me stay with you on this, Jessica, because Cesar's having a moment here. Okay, wait a minute. We're all over the place right now. All of a sudden, Cesar is back. I got 2 minutes to go here. Cesar, John Boehner wrote that July opinion piece. He says, this is the system the founders gave us. This is not about executive orders. How then, taking that into account, could the president, in your opinion, have done this? Because they say he can't get away with it.
Well, see, that's the thing. The president is not rewriting laws. The president is not bestowing any type of immigration status on anyone. He's not providing a path to citizenship. He is simply saying that the president is going to prioritize going after, terrorists, going after the violent felony offenders.
There's what happens when you get live television. I got 60 seconds left. Jessica, back to you as well in this. How do you think the Republican candidates will use this? How do you think the Democratic candidates will use this to their advantage when the decision comes down?
Well, the Democrats are all going around saying that they're going to go even farther than President Obama has gone in issuing benefits to illegal aliens, and it remains to be seen whether that really works for them in an election. It's a key issue in the Republican campaign because some of the candidates, especially Ted Cruz, have said that the first thing they're going to do if they are elected is rescind this illegal executive action. Marco Rubio, on the other hand, his immigration policy is essentially the same as President Obama's. And I think more of the candidates are going to have to be clearer about how they would address this problem that the president has created with his overreach.
Cesar, just 15 seconds. Last word to you. Do you think that the Supreme Court will rule in favor of the president?
The Supreme Court is going to uphold the president's executive action. He has the legal authority. Every president since Dwight Eisenhower, Republican and Democrats, have taken similar action. So we're going to win at the end.
All right, there we go. We now have to wait for the Supreme Court. They're going to look at this. They're going to then rule later in the year. And again, as I have said, smack dab in the middle of the election cycle. What a day it is. Cesar Vargas, Jessica Vaughan, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk with you soon. The greatest failure of the American government when it comes to fighting terror? 3 words. You'll hear those words and have them explained next, right here on The Hardline.